The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Sofiia Shvets. Sofiia is the co-founder and CEO at Let's Enhance. Sofiia, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
It's our pleasure. So, Sofiia, let's start with yourself, please. Could you give us an overview and background of your journey in technology, from where you got started, your journey, and what led you to where you are today in founding and launching Let's Enhance?
Yeah, absolutely. My journey in technology started around 7-8 years ago when I was still in the university. I was actually studying economics. It wasn't like computer science degree, but I was interested in mostly commercialization of technology, like how we can take something that is very technical, very new, and translate it to, how I call it, human language, so mass users can adopt it and benefit from it and understand. So I started working with a bunch of startups when I was still in the university, mostly on communication, marketing positions, and then Google hired me. So that was another big step for me, and I spent 3 years there. But somewhere deep inside, I always knew that I want to do something on my own. And after 3 years at Google, I quit the job, returned back to my family house, and started exploring different ideas. And at that time, my co-founder showed me the prototype of new generation neural networks that can actually create art, create stuff, and that what actually sparked and started the company. So it's been 4 years till now, and yeah, very exciting journey.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. It's great to hear about the origins of making the switch and deciding to do something yourself. So that leads nicely into where we are today. So tell us all about Let's Enhance, who you are as a business, what the mission of the organization is, and then talk to us about your use of AI in the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a completely AI first company, which means that AI is the core of what we do. We're a computer vision company. We work with photos and videos as well. Just don't have it is a separate product. So overall, the idea of the company is that we help businesses to create, edit, and optimize content using state-of-the-art tools. So the whole idea and how the company started, that my co-founder was helping his friend to build an e-commerce website. And when you sell multiple brands, right, so you have different types of photos. And in many cases, you don't have great photos. It's something that you can find on the internet or can shoot on your phone. And that was the whole idea of the company, how we can take this content and transform in something that can be attractive and can sell, something that we will not be ashamed to put online. So 4 years ago, we took a bunch of very low-res, blurry photos and used the new generative networks that can take the photo and redraw it in higher quality. And that's what actually started the company. And right now we work with big marketplaces that get tons of data from users. And we basically replace very manual, very routinish designers' work, something that we could do in Photoshop, but it will spend like hours of retouching photos. But we do it in the cloud in 1-2 seconds time at scale.
Very cool. Leads nicely then into my next question. How? Give us some insight into the technology behind the scenes that is allowing you to process these images and give this high quality detail back in such a quick time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very interesting technology. Like technical, it's called GAN, right? Generative Adversarial Network. I wouldn't dig too deep into how technical details of how it works, but the whole idea that these type of technology can analyze the content and can do some actions with something that is in the photo. So the first application that we've trained and we've built was actually taking low-res photo and redraw it from scratch in the like photorealistic identical copy, but it would be high res. So basically the network take the context of the photo and restore all the missing details, clean up artifacts, clean up these ugly pixels that you might have in the photo, and the photo looks much more like high res, nice and clean, which actually allows us to take, I know, 6 HD photos to 8K, or something that is like 500 pixels to, let's say, 4K resolution quality. But it's possible to do it much behind that. When you can understand the content, we can take product photos and create from just one image input. We can create like 10 different examples of using just one product photo as a sample, like for this resolution for this menu, that resolution for another menu. We can remove objects, we can remove background, you can in-paint, for example, specific shade that is just applicable for this brand. And we are at that stage right now that we can generate actually from scratch.
Switching our attention now to the customers who are using your product, can you give us some insight into potential use cases for the business-to-business world, and maybe a particular customer journey, if there's an example of somebody that you found that you guys are working with that was particularly...
Yeah, absolutely. We mostly focus on platforms that get data from users because they have the most problems, right? Because when you have budgets to shoot photos like your Nike or any other big brand, you have the shooting team, you have the brand team, and you can control the input. But if you're somebody like Etsy or even Airbnb was a great example, right? That good content is so important because it influences how these listings perform and how actually the platform perform. It's much harder because different people have different phones. Some content can be old, some content can be coming from social media. Yeah, so we have, I would say, 4 main use cases that we focus on, which is real estate, like indoor photos, something that apartments that you can rent. And the biggest problem of these types of photos is actually a lack of light. So they can be dark and they can lack of light, which makes all the details less clear. So we have a special pipeline that can take these photos like these, improve the quality, and also add more light in that. So they look much more bright and attractive, and you can actually see more details in that. So that's one example. Another one, we work with food delivery companies. So they have another problem that they mostly get content from small restaurants or even restaurant chains, and the photos of food that they get is actually something that people can shoot on their kitchen. And these photos can differ from each other. We take the food photos, we improve them, and we add a little bit more colors. We don't fake them, that's important to mention, but we just take the input and trying to get the max out of it as if it was shot by professional camera. Yeah, so the common thing between our cases is that its content is created by users, not by professional photographers.
Understood. And in an industry where the cost of getting these photos professionally upgraded can run into the thousands, to have a platform that can do it almost instantly using AI is a great value add. So that completely makes sense.
In many cases, I would just add that in many cases, hiring photographers is definitely much more expensive. We're talking about hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But at the same time, if you, for example, are food delivery company and you want to open a new city, you need to add thousands of restaurants simultaneously to the platform. So it's not just about the cost, it's also about the speed. And waiting for a photographer to come to the location, shoot photos, and then send back and retouch them can cause weeks delay, which is crucial for business at the scale stage.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Talk to us about the growth of the team. Obviously, you launched Let's Enhance back in the beginning of 2018. So we're now almost at the four and a half year mark. What has the journey been like? And give us some insight into the growth of the technology team from where you started to where you are now. How many people are on the tech team and the various roles that are necessary to make this technology work?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, the company started 4.5 years ago, but we had some stages. So the first 2 years, we were mostly B2C oriented, and we are working on the first version of technology to improve photo quality. We were doing just that. We still do that because every year there is some breakthrough in the state of art, new tools appear. But we launched our B2B product last year when it kind of all dots come in pieces that's something that businesses actually that suffer from, and that's where we can help the most. So overall, the team was mostly tech oriented from scratch. So I was probably one of the 2 salespeople for the first 1.5 years, and we had all others were engineers and machine learning. So right now we are 34 people. We would be 40 soon, so we are actively hiring. And more than half of the team is still tech team. The team that is purely focused on research, it's a few people that with PhD and the ML guys that just train networks, work with data sets. We also have the a special ML product manager that's worked with them and help them estimate and validate everything that they train. We also have the team of backend engineers, because besides that, the network should be very accurate, right? In terms of result, it should be very fast. Because if we talk about integrating with platforms that get millions of photos from users, you need to be quick in order to deliver value. And we do all the processing on Google Cloud, which are our great partners. We love them. We work very closely with them, and as Nvidia as well. So we have the whole team, which around 10 people, that make sure that these networks that are being built, they are working smoothly on the back end, they are fast. So overall, the engineering team is around 25 people.
Very cool. Very cool. You've already touched on it there that you guys are growing, and that's a sign of success. So I want to spend a bit of time now looking at what's next. Obviously, 4.5 years, you've figured out the go-to-market approach, and the demand is only increasing with the speed of automation and the demand for digital services. So when you look at the next 2-4 years for Let's Enhance, what are you most excited about? Where do you see the business growing to? And when you look at the opportunity, what gets you excited about the next phase of growth?
Yeah, so we have big plans. We are actually working on the new product that we hope to launch soon, which is also working with photos from the different angle. We want to replace photo moderation, because we learned that in companies that actually want to control the content, there is a whole operational teams that just check if the photo is good quality, if the photo fits the requirement, and it also slow downs. And that would be another part of the product, that we want to estimate how good the photo is before doing anything with this. And it will go a pre-step and then retouch it and publish straight away. So overall, we are working on the one-click solution that will take the photo and make it production ready straight away. So we are taking this headache from companies at all. One of the other trends that I'm very excited, we are researching this, is actually generating photos from scratch. Because sometimes it's really hard to build the perfect backgrounds, perfect lights. And right now the technology is moving that way, that we will be able to generate something like new, for example, OpenAI networks that just appeared recently, that you can just type in what you need. I want the product on the white background, with some flowers around that, and it generates specifically what you need. And you can take this technology and apply to the business requirements, like generating backgrounds, generating something that sometimes I believe that stock photos industry would be completely changed with this, and commercial photography as well. So that's something that we are looking at. Overall, it's automatization and democratization of content creation.
Very exciting. Final question from me then, Sofiia. You obviously have played a pivotal role in the hiring of the technology team, and a big part of that is talking about the culture and the mission. I know you and I were speaking about it previously. When you're speaking to candidates about the environment at Let's Enhance, what is it that you tell them about the work, the culture, the industry that gets them interested and excited to join you guys over some of the other good opportunities available?
Yeah, so we usually talk about the few main things. So first of all is that candidates are working with real problem and with the state-of-art technologies. So in many cases, researchers work that build state-of-art technologies, they have rare chances to touch them on real users. In our case, as we work very closely with businesses, we can show them sometimes half-baked solutions and ask for their immediate feedback. And that's very exciting because that speeds up the process of developing a lot. Another thing that we talk about is 35 people, right? We're moving towards 40, but we still try to keep this very flat structure that there's no bureaucracy, there's no need to go and get like 10 approvals before you want to do something. And the industry is very new, so basically we take engineers to customer calls so they can feel the problem and build some quick solutions, which actually is very exciting. And the culture is that everybody can propose ideas and take ideas and implement ideas. And that's something that I was really missing in this big corporate environment, that sometimes I saw that the product's not working the way customers expect it to work, or there is something that is very inconvenient, but I don't have any power to fix it. So that's something that I'm telling to all the team. We have our brainstorming sessions that everybody can bring ideas and like, how can we make sure that the product brings more value for the customers without committing half a year into development? Let's think about it. And then we start committing ideas. So that's very exciting as well. Yeah, and the last thing, that we are fully remote, fully distributed team. And I definitely think that this is the future work. People can work from anywhere and think about their life balance and be happy. And yeah, so that's something that we also, we don't have any limits to hire and any limits in locations.
Amazing. Sofiia, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us.
Thank you.
It's been great to learn about your background, the idea behind Let's Enhance, and quite a cool use of AI. And given the changes that are happening in the image space, I can only see this becoming more and more common and watch you guys be more successful. So we're excited to see what you guys can accomplish, and good luck with the months and years ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.